Hello everyone, welcome to the new lecture series on basic preparation and foundation preparation of UPSC. Many students are asking me when they come for inquiry or when they come for just getting information, they are not very well aware about the pattern of examination. So here in this lecture, I will be making it very clear about pattern of examination in just very few minutes. Here I will be making two separate videos. One video shall be for prelims examination, second video shall be for mains examination. My attempt shall be here to make you very clear about what is the pattern of UPSC examination, what all subjects are there, what are the total number of marks which one must get, what is negative marking. We are going to discuss every point in a very simple manner. But basically one thing I want to make you very clear is that in this video I am not discussing the reference material. For reference material, for how to start study, for what to read, what should be the reading strategy, what should be answer writing strategy, we are going to make a series of almost 25 to 30 lectures on every small simple aspect of UPSC. So let's start with the topic. Here we are going to study the UPSC. Before going into the start of this lecture, I want to make one thing very clear. The examination is not called as UPSC examination, it is called as civil service examination. Basically we have this objection, we feel that it is UPSC examination. UPSC is a commission which conduct the examination, it is not the name of examination. Name of the examination is civil services examination. So this must be very clear. We will start with every point one by one. So the first point, we are going to discuss about civil service examination, which gives an appointment to two kinds of services. One is All India services, second is central services. We will go into the names of the services also. First thing, second important point, this civil service examination is being conducted by UPSC. UPSC is a constitutional organization which conducts civil service examination. UPSC stands for Union Public Service Commission, that is Sangh Lok Seva Ayog is the name of Union Public Service Commission. Here you have to remember one thing, this civil service examination is being conducted for two types of services. This examination conducts services for almost 19 to 20 names of the services are there, but these services are broadly classified into two types of services. One, it is All India services, second it is central services. What is the meaning of All India service and central service, that we will study during next few videos. Just remember which services are called as All India service and which services are called as central service. So here you have to keep it in mind that basically these are the two important All India services which are being recruited by UPSC. Actually another third All India service is there which stands for IFOS, that is Indian Forest Service. Many people have this confusion, they feel that this IFS stands for Indian Foreign Service. Remember, it is not Indian Foreign Service, it is Indian Forest Service. So basically remember, IAS and IPS are the two examination which are the two important posts which are being recruited through this civil service examination. But for Indian Forest Service, a separate examination is conducted having almost 80% similarity in the syllabus with the civil service examination. So here we are going to study about the recruitment to IAS and IPS services. We will take a separate video lecture on Indian Forest Service. So this is basically, these are the two important All India services which are being recruited by UPSC through civil service examination. One is IAS, means they are collector in your district, you must have seen them, and there are IPS who are SPs of your district. So IAS stands for Indian Administrative Service, whereas IPS stands for Indian Police Service. Next thing which you have to keep in mind is about which are the central services. So central services, various central services are there. I am not going in details of the names of the central services. To know in detailed information about various central services, one very good book is there written by an IPS officer, Lohit Matani sir. You can get it on in Amazon also. Lohit Matani sir is an IPS officer. He has written a book named as Bouquet of Services. you will get this book on Amazon. Lohit Matani sir's book, name of the book is Bouquet of Services. So these are names of the certain central services. One is IRS, that is Indian Revenue Service, Customs and Excise. Then IRS, that is Indian Revenue Service, Income Tax. Then IDES, Indian Defence Estate Service. IAAS, which stands for Indian Audit and Account Service. Then IPS, that is Indian Postal Service, and other services. So single examination is being conducted to recruit people for All India services as well as central services. Many people have this misconception that for every separate post a separate examination is being conducted. It is not the case, my dear friends. A single examination is being conducted to recruit people for All India services like IAS, IPS, as well as for central services like IRS, IT, IRS Customs, IDES, Indian Audit and Account Service, Indian Postal Service, all these services. So we will go into these things one by one. So now moving further, what are the various stages of the examination? So remember, this examination is being conducted through three important stages. First stage is a prelims stage, second stage is a mains stage, third stage is a interview stage. First thing I want to make you clear, you have to clear every stage to move further. If you fails in prelims examination, you have to appear next year again for prelims examination. Or if you cleared prelims, you are appearing for mains, and if you failed in mains, then again you have to appear for a prelims, mains and interview. Or third case could be there, you reached up to interview and you failed in interview, you could not score good marks in interview and you are not getting post. Again you will have to start from basic, that is you have to start from prelims, then again mains, and then again you have to interview. It means every time you fail at a particular stage, you will have to repeat all the three stages. So these are the three stages of civil service examinations. First it is prelims, second it is mains, third it is interview. I just want to give you one simple idea. Prelims is an objective examination. It means most of the questions in prelims are of MCQ type, that is multiple choice questions. Mains examination is a written examination. It is a descriptive examination where you have to write answer. Whereas interview is an oral examination. It is unlike CDS where group discussions are not there. So these are the three stages of the examination. First one is prelims, second is mains, third one is interview. Another important point which you have to keep in mind is the marks of prelims are not counted while allotting the post. Marks of prelims are not counted while allotting the post. Prelims marks are purely, or they are just only a qualifying, or it is like a screening examination. Whereas while deciding final merit list to give you various posts, the marks of mains and interview are taken into consideration. This thing you have to keep in mind. While giving final post, marks of mains and interview are taken into consideration. The marks of prelims are just only they are just only qualifying marks. They are not taken into consideration while allotting the final merit list. Now we will start understanding UPSC prelims somewhat in detail. Our attempt shall be to understand pattern of UPSC prelims, syllabus of UPSC prelims, number of questions that are being asked in UPSC prelims. Before moving forward, I want to make one thing very clear. Marks of UPSC prelims are not counted while deciding your merit rank. UPSC prelims is just a qualifying examination. Remember this thing, UPSC prelims is just only a qualifying examination. Now what it says, UPSC prelims is composed of two papers. One is General Studies 1, second is General Studies 2. Basically in General Studies 1, papers are like history, geography, polity, economy, science, environment. Whereas in General Studies 2, the subjects are like comprehension, general mental ability, basic numeracy, logical reasoning, analytical ability, data interpretation. All these things are part of the General Studies paper 2. This part is very easier for these people having technical background or people having engineering background. Now basically General Studies paper 1 has total 200 marks, whereas paper 2 also has total 200 marks. The number of questions asked are total 100 questions are being asked. Here total 80 questions are being asked. Every question carries 2 marks. Here every question carries 2.5 marks. Marks, here one thing you have to keep in mind, marks are considered while deciding the qualification for mains, whereas the paper of CSAT or General Studies paper 2 is also called as CSAT. CSAT stands for Civil Services Aptitude Test. So the marks of CSAT or the General Studies paper 2 are not considered while deciding the qualification for mains. It means General Studies paper 2 is again just a qualifying type of paper. Marks scored in GS paper 2 are not considered while giving you admission to the UPSC mains examination. It means your selection to UPSC mains examination is purely dependent upon General Studies paper 1 only. So you have to focus more and more on General Studies paper 1 only. Now this is one simple pattern. It is General Studies 1, it is General Studies paper 1, total marks 200, 2 hour duration is there. Every question carries how many marks? 2 marks. The time for first paper is in the morning from 9:30 am to 11:30 am, whereas paper 2 which is there in afternoon, it is called as CSAT paper, that is Civil Services Aptitude Test. It also has 200 marks. It has a duration of 2 hours, that is from 2:30 pm to 4:30 pm. So these are the 2 papers of UPSC prelims examination. Here again I repeat one thing, marks of paper 2 are not considered while giving you qualification for mains examination, whereas marks of paper 1 are considered while giving you qualification for UPSC mains examination. It means in case of UPSC prelims examination, General Studies 1 is the most important paper. Now coming to the next part, there are certain important points regarding prelims. First thing, we have discussed almost all those things here. I just documented the things. First thing, UPSC prelims is a qualifying examination. First case, it contains 2 papers as we have discussed few minutes back, that is General Studies 1 and General Studies 2. The total marks are 400. It is compulsory to clear prelims examination to appear in mains examination, which means prelims is a kind of screening examination which allows you to appear for mains examination. These are few basic points regarding prelims examination. Another few points which we should keep in mind is, while deciding merit, the marks of only General Studies paper 1 are taken into consideration, whereas paper 2 are not considered. Paper 2 is just only a qualifying nature. Merit is decided out of 200 marks of paper 1, and mostly merit ranges between the marks of 100 to 110. Remember, this is the range of UPSC prelims examination. The merit do not go much higher, but it is a kind of temperament examination. So merit ranges between the marks of 100 to 200 out of 200 marks. Another thing, the marks scored in UPSC prelims examination are valid for just only once. It means during second prelims you have to appear for the examination once again. You cannot claim that I cleared UPSC prelims last year, so please allow me to appear for mains directly, unlike CAT where your score is valid for something 6 months, in some cases it is valid for 1 year, or in some cases the scores of various MBA entrance examinations are valid for 2 years. But here remember, UPSC prelims score is valid just only once. For both paper GS1 and GS2 there is 1/3 negative marking. It means in case of GS, for every in case GS1, for every correct question you will get 2 marks, whereas for negative marking you will score 0.66 negative marking. It is an objective examination, which means the questions that are being asked in the UPSC prelims examination are in the format of MCQs, that is multiple choice question. So remember this thing, UPSC prelims is an objective examination having questions in the format of multiple choice questions. Now on next slide we will try to understand every point one by one. See what it says. The preliminary examination is only meant for screening a candidate for subsequent or next stages of the examination, that is mains examination. So this is a kind of qualifying examination. The marks obtained in the prelims will not be added up while arriving at the final rank list. So the marks scored in prelims examination are purely qualifying in nature. Now here this is the syllabus of General Studies 1, which is more important in prelims. What it covers? It covers current events of national and international importance. This is first point of syllabus. Second, it covers history of India and modern India. Remember, UPSC prelims do not have questions on world history. If at all a question comes on world history, it has current event relevance, it does not have any core relevance. So remember, questions on history are mostly history of India and Indian national movement. It covers three aspects. One is ancient India, second is medieval India, and third is modern India. So on these three aspect questions are being asked: ancient India, medieval India, modern India, Prachin Bharat, Madhyugin Bharat, Adhunik Bharat. Also, it asks questions on India and world geography with specific focus on physical geography, social geography, economic geography of India as well as world. Also, it covers questions on general science. General science, it has more number of questions. In next lecture, when we are going to study the foundation study of prelims, at that time I will go into the detailed marks analysis of this every point of the prelims syllabus. Also, it covers questions on Indian polity and governance, constitution, political systems, panchayat raj, public policy and rights issue. These are the certain basic areas of polity where questions are being asked. Also, the questions from economic sections are in the area of economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, that is population science, then social sector initiative. Mostly questions in economics are conceptual, or they are based on government scheme, government policies, government programs and various social sector initiatives. And also there is question on environment and ecology, covering biodiversity and climate change, and this do not require any subject specialization. Most of the questions are of a graduation level, where you can go through various NCERTs or ICSE board syllabus, ICSE syllabus books. Now that was about General Studies paper 1. Now we will go for General Studies paper 2, that is also called as CSAT, or it is also called as Civil Services Aptitude Test. Now what it covers? This paper covers questions on comprehension. Second, it covers questions on interpersonal skills including communication skill. Also logical reasoning and analytical ability. You must have appeared in your school days on examinations of scholarship, then various NTS, National Talent Search examination. So this GS paper 2 has almost similar pattern like those examinations on various entrance examinations, right? Then questions on decision making. Here one point must be remembered: the questions on decision making do not attract any negative marking. There are no questions, there are no negative marking on questions of decision making. Remember this point. Then another part of GS2 or CSAT is, it talks about GMAT, that is general mental ability, then basic numeracy, which talks questions about numbers and the relations, orders of magnitude. It has about class 10th level data interpretation, which has questions from charts, graphs, tables, data sufficiency, etc. It also has class 10th level. They do not go in higher difficulty level. It is only the question of your practice and the time management that you can manage to score good marks in UPSC prelims. Thank you very much.